Hi, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. Before I get started on today's project, I did want to update you on just a couple of things. Today I have started one last online class for February. My online classes are free. You just have to buy the stamps and stuff that you need. But for this particular one, I'm kind of switching it up a little bit because it's later in a catalog year and I didn't let you know that I was going to be doing this one. So if you already have it, you can purchase $100 between now and February 28th and use my host code. And then you'll also get the supplies if you already have what you need, then you can follow along with the free online class. So you can go over to my website. I will put the link down below this video, or if you're on Facebook, then you can get it. If you're on my email list, I did send an email list out today, so you will have that. But it's the positive thoughts. I already did one online class earlier this month, but it was a real fast sign up because it went with our 24-hour Facebook Live event that we did on January 31st and February 1st. So it had a quick sign up. So if you get this, then you will be able to follow along. Not all the instructions for those projects are posted, but all of the projects for that were posted. So you can see those and you'll have what you need and the basic instructions to put those 4 projects together. And then these are 3 new projects. So I'm going to build off the technique that I did in that first one. And the girls that signed up to take that first class, they're just getting the supplies for these next 3 projects as a bonus. And then they'll be able to get the videos for that as well. So you can go to my website and find out all the details for that. You do need to have signed up for that class by February 28th. And if you have any questions on how to do it, just let me know. And also by the end of February, which this year is the 29th, everybody who has spent $100, either in my camps or classes or online, will be going into a drawing to get the free Ladybug set. So I have one of those to give away. I just wanted to remind you that that's happening because February is finally coming to a close. It's not my favorite month of the year. We have another gray, rainy day here in Indiana. I'm ready for spring. So today's card is, if you've seen the little cover, it's spring-based. Celebration, it does go till the end of March, which means we're almost two-thirds of the way through. So this catalog is still going. 2 things now in the U.S. have run out. We're out of the sequins and twine and also out of the kerchief kit. Both of those have sold out. So if you are waiting on any of the papers or the dies or those kind of things, don't wait because there's a chance they could go soon too. So those need to be ordered before the end of March if you're waiting on it. But then on March 3rd, we also have a new catalog that's starting. And one of the things I'm using today is out of that. And I do have a couple of more projects that we'll post in the next couple of days using the stuff that's out of that. So if you place an order before the end of the month, then with your thank you gift that I send and your thank you card that you'll also get this catalog, which has the new things in it. So today I am using the So Very Vellum Specialty Designer Series paper, and it's colored paper and it's already perforated. It's so much fun to work with, and you're going to see it in just a second. It comes in Pool Party, Purple Posy, and a Soft Sea Foam. So I'm using the Soft Sea Foam today, but this has some new fun products that you're going to be seeing me use, and those start on March 3rd if you're a customer. And I'm also using this sweet new, because I'm ready for spring, Welcome Easter set. And I've made the first card with this little lamb here. And I thought about switching to one of these 2, but since I've already colored it and I got those out, and he looks super cute, or she does. I think it's a him on my card. I was afraid that if I colored one of these, it might not be as cute. So I may color another one for the pictures on my blog, or I may not. But we'll see. So I'm going to use, this is kind of a fun little thing. This is part of our coordination line. You may recognize it because they've used it a lot recently. It's the stand that goes with the Happy Birthday to You dies. So it's the cake stand. And then this is the beehive, and it goes with the bee set. I don't remember what it's called. It's currently on back order, but it'll be back soon. So you'll be able to get it fairly soon. I think it's coming back like second week of March maybe. So when I had these laying on the table one day, I thought, oh, well, that makes a stinking cute little cake stand or a cloche. I have a cloche. Actually, I have a love of cloches, so I have a whole lot of them. But I have one big one, and then I have, maybe I have more than one big one. And then I have several medium sized and several small ones. but I like to seasonally decorate. So I'm getting ready to decorate for spring, but I put stuff in it every season. So it's always got stuff. It usually has, most of them have fairy lights in them as well. And over the years, I've now collected almost all battery operated ones. I mean, plug-in operated ones, which is nice. So when I saw this laying here, you could put, like, if you have a cupcake stamp, or that one Hostess that has like a cake, slice of cake, it would make a really super cute little cake stand. But I'm going to use mine for a little decorator cloche for spring, because I'm all about spring. So here's the new designer series vellum, and that's free with a $50 purchase. Then I'm going to use a piece of window sheet, which, you know, it comes with this little thing to help protect it from static, which right now in our houses, that's muchly needed. And then just Whisper white cardstock. So we're going to start this card by folding this as a half a sheet and just fold it in half card size. And then I'm going to take my snail just to kind of position this on here. And then this is cut 4 by 5.5. I didn't want it, I'd like to cover the whole thing, but if you cut this 4 1/4, you'll get less out of it because it's 12 by 12. I'm going to stick this right here in the middle where I know that I'm going to cut my beehive out of. So it gives you a little white border on the sides, and then it fills it all the way up the other way. So let's run it through the die cut machine. The 2 pieces that we need. It doesn't take long to do this. But what's nice is it does have the lines, so you're super easy to get it on here straight. So first we're going to put this, we want it kind of close to the top, and then in the center, which, because these lines are here, it's easy to see. So let's put that here, and you can see those little dots there, make it nice and easy to line up. Just pop that on here. We do need 2 dies, but because this is a full card, it's going to take all of that space to run that through. So now we've created our little window, and you can see they're not stuck together because you have to be careful with the vellum where you put your adhesives. And then we need our cake stand, and I'm just going to cut it out of white because I do have a couple of old like milk glass kind of things. And so this nice springy card, I just wanted to look like milk glass. So I thought about doing it in silver. I thought about the champagne. There's lots of colors if you're doing a traditional cake stand that this would look phenomenal in. But for my nice little spring card here, I just wanted kind of a milk glass look. And this also has some like, oh, it came out on its own. So you can see it has a little bit of the impression in it as well. It's a really pretty little cake stand. Now we just have to do a little bit of coloring, a little bit of stamping, and it will be done. So what you want to do is first you need to get rid of the beehive door, because no bees are going to be going into our hive. So just snip that off. Now it looks much more like a traditional cake dome. Okay, so I know that as far as placing my materials, that I'm going to be able to put some adhesive here and it's going to be covered up. But I also need to know like where I'm going to be able to stamp. So I just have a pencil here. I'm going to kind of open this up. I'm going to move this for a second. Just open this up and just kind of give a little dot there. And that'll get covered up, but that will give you some place to aim for your stamping. Now I have my window sheet here. And I know my cake stand's gonna be here. So I can put a little bit of adhesive here. And now this will give us a window through our card. So from the front, it will look like all of our stuff is inside the cloche. And this is cut 4 by 4. So I'm gonna move it up a little bit. This is a little higher than I did on my first one because it's gonna give me one more place to adhere adhesive later. Didn't do that on my first one, so it's not quite as secure as this one will be. And then I'm gonna take this one, and right here where that same adhesive is, just do that again. Stick this over the top of that. And then I'm gonna switch to some glue dots. I'm gonna go ahead first, before I start doing that, I'm gonna stamp, that way it can have a minute to dry. So I just have my memento. Open this up. And said, I chose the little lamb. Make sure you ink it well. And then just kind of aim for this. Stamp there. And she's sweet. And then just make sure that she's kind of inside your thing, which she is. And then depending on how she hit, this one's more to this side. If you're like, if this is going to be a super important card, you could put all your stuff on the stamp apparatus. I don't care. It's a fun little cartoon card. So there we have a little bee. And then we just have some little leaves. Let's see where I want to put those. So the bee's in there. I still have a little space over here. So you can see it, as long as it's inside the dome, that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter perfect placement. It's kind of what happens inside my cloches, because you line everything up and then you slide that the glass top on, and sometimes the glass top moves your stuff and it's like, well, it was perfect placement, but when you got to get those lids on there, it's kind of what happens in real life too. And then I have the Happy Easter sentiment that comes in the set. This set also has baby sayings. So after you're done with Easter, you can still pull it out all year round and use it for some baby cards. So put that on there, and I'm going to use these little leaves again. It's part of the reason I chose the seam foam color of the paper, because I could match the leaves to it. So I'm going to just fussy cut that out in a minute. The set doesn't have any dies or anything. It's a real inexpensive little set. Although to get the paper, you have to spend $50, but you could buy the dies. Okay, now let's go ahead and stick all this together, and we'll let that dry a second before we paint it in. So I'm going to switch to the glue dots. And here's a way you can get all this stuff together and have nothing else showing behind. So I'm going to stick some glue dots on my cake stand. I also do have cake stands. I have lots of cake stands, which my husband most likes it when they have, well, he likes them two different ways. Because, you know, I like Rae Dunn, so I have some big Rae Dunn bowls that fit inside my cake stand. So sometimes I have them filled with candy. He likes them that way, but he most likes it if they have cake or cookies that I've made in them. But I also do like fill them with Christmas ornaments because I have lots of cake stands. So just slide that up on there. Okay, so now you know that there's some places under here. So you could take the Christmas ornament stamp set and you could fill this with Christmas ornaments. If you have any of the succulent stamps that we've had in the past. And now I'm sticking one in between the window sheet and the card. And then I'm going to do the same thing on both of these sides over here, because I have that stuck. So just grab this, get the window sheet and the card. And now absolutely nothing's going to show, but it's going to be nice and stuck down there. And now these are our basic sequins, and they're in the just in the annual catalog, and so one side of them does have adhesive. And there's two shades of green. Actually, I'm going to switch this one because my first card has this one that's got, just pull it off, the one that's got a little bit of the iridescence on it, and then this one's a more matte finish, so that way we can see which one we like best. But one side of these does have adhesive, so I don't need a glue dot here. Just stick all four of those on. You can tell over here I've not centered my window sheet too well, so I'm just going to take my scissors and just trim that. Just lift it up like this, actually. So it doesn't have to be straight, because nobody's going to see it because it's clear window sheet, but I don't like it sticking out the side of my card. And it may also be that I didn't trim this one. I cut the first one, and I think that I cut the second one for this card, but sometimes I create the card and then I didn't really cut the paper for the second one. That looks better. Okay, so now we've got those 4 sequins, which also allows us 4 more spots to adhere the vellum to our card. And then this will be plenty of places that it's sucked down and it's not gonna move. And you don't see anything at all behind that's holding this vellum to the card. Oops. We'll do it flat, Cheri. Glue dots hold really well. There we go. Stick that one just under there. That one's still a little crooked. There we go. So now we just have to color it in. And we're done. So for the leaves over here, I've got the dark and light seafoam. I'll open this up and color them all at the same time. So this is dark. So I'm just going to add some darks to the centers of my leaves. I'm going to put my dark ones over here because I'm going to show you a tip. Sometimes if you think that after you've colored with blends, if you think it looks a little flat, I'm going to show you a tip. But there's the light seafoam. Then I have, I think it's light flirty flamingo, and I'm just going to put a little bit inside his ears. And then I have the posy. I pulled out the colors that were matching the vellum because I wasn't sure at the start what I was going to use. So even though you can't get the posy ink, you can get like the ink pad. You can get the paper and like this vellum and the blend. So there's other ways to use the posy because it's a beautiful color. So add some highlights of the dark. And I just have the dark So Saffron for the little honeybee over here. And then also for my happy. Just add 2 little swashes of that. And then let's see, I have, this is light crumb cake. Color in his feet. There's my little line for my watercolor pencil. It's just gonna get blended in where it happened to fall. So I don't have to do anything with it. If it's outside the place, and I'm gonna give just a little bit, the bottoms of my cloches, most of them are wood. Or if he was sitting outside, it kind of works both ways. So got that. And then we have this various assorted colors here. So I do have dark basic black. I'm gonna save that for the end. I have light gray granite, light smoky slate, dark smoky slate, and then my color lifter. So I'm going to start with my gray granite. I'm going to add a tiny bit mixed in with his feet so they don't look exactly like the brown. And then I'm just going to kind of add some swashes of it around the edges because he's white, but we need to give him a little bit of definition. So this is the granite. And that's good for that. And then I've got, let's go with the light smoky slate. And again, just some swashes of color. This time I'm going to color his nose. And you don't have to hit everywhere, just a few places. You don't want all the colors to be the same. And then I've got my dark smoky slate. Coloring a little bit more of his nose. And then this time I'm just going to hit a few of the places. On his ears. And then I'm going to take my color lifter and I'm going to use my bullet tip. And I'm literally just going to kind of erase all this away. So you can get it to almost all disappear if you want. I don't want it to be all gone. But you can if you want to sit here for long enough. But it gets all those lines in it and then it blends all those colors together. But don't get like your bow and everything, otherwise all that will disappear too. But but it lightens up all of this and it just makes it look like you've got some highlights on him. Sorry about the squeaking. I know some of you don't like the squeaking. If you're doing it at home, you can use a lighter touch. It'll just take a little bit longer, but when you press harder, your blends do squeak. So you can see now that it's getting wet, it's really starting to blend in there, but it does take it a second to get wet enough. That's why I'm pressing hard. So we'll go faster. And I didn't want to speed this process up. I know sometimes I do that on my video, but I wanted you to see it takes a second, but it doesn't take forever. It doesn't take that long. There we go. So now most of it's, when you can see almost all of the actual coloring lines, you can get them all to disappear. So he's still mostly white. He's a tinge of gray. I did forget, I need the light smoky slate to color my bee. His little center and then his little wings. Okay, so we've got this, and I do need the purple. I'm gonna do a little swatch of purple on my Happy Easter. Okay, so now you've got this. And I know sometimes people will say to me, they say it a lot, your coloring looks so much better than my coloring, but it's because a lot of people stop here. So just take it, let it dry, and it's dry now, and then take it just one more highlight, and it makes all the difference in the world. So go back with your dark and just add one more. See how that brings those to life? Look at the difference between those and those, and it's just adding the one more hit of the darker color. So we got that. I moved to my purple. And do this with your tiny tip because you don't want to cover everything up. Otherwise, you've just gone to another dark color. But see, it just gives it one more strike of color, and it's one more shading. And like here on his ears, I'm just going to hit it ever so slightly. And then again on my bee, really just a dot, because again, you don't want to cover up all of the color. And then this is the black, which I didn't use at all, but it's really going to make a difference. I'm going to hit it on the bee and then on the corner of his nose. So go for that center of the bee. I don't want the whole thing. And then over here on his nose. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab one of my lighter ones and just kind of pull that in. But look how much more that does to just add it. In fact, you can let it sit here another second if you want and do it again. It gets a little addicting, but at some point you can stop. See, it just gives it just layers the color and it just looks so much prettier. So we have this. Now I will tell you one trick on my card here. It's kind of up to you. I did not color on my card. I mounted it on the inside because I didn't want that to happen. So it's up to you, because some people will think when they look at this, oh, she made a mistake and she covered it up. So it's kind of up to you. You can do it this way, or you could do it this way and then put a false back on it, or you can just do it this way and not care, because how many people are going to look at the back of your card? So I just wanted to show you the difference. It's kind of up to you. How you did it. This one I did that, but then afterwards I thought it does kind of look like it was a mistake that was covered up, and it wasn't. I did it to avoid that. So that's kind of up to you how you want to finish that off. Or if you color it with watercolor pencils, or if you just paint it in, then you can just do it however, because the blends are the only thing they're going to bleed. So this is also going to give us one more spot in the middle of our card that we can add some adhesive. And I'm just trimming this out. I looked at some of the punches. They were all, I didn't want to cover up any more of this beautiful paper. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to cut that. It's going to be like that. Then I took this piece here, just separate it because you know it's attached to that. And I just trimmed off my door again. It doesn't have to be straight. And then I just kind of made some Easter grass or spring grass. Just trim it like that. And then just take your adhesive. And on mine, I used up all of it, so I did it again, but I'm not going to do it here. Just stick this on here. And then I just have a little bit of a layer up here. So it just adds, that way you're not wasting that. One more layer of adhesive. Stick that on there, and then I took another glue dot. If you did this before you mounted those, which if you weren't worrying about your stuff drying, I did mine in that order because I wanted that to have time to dry. But that gives you one more spot to put a glue dot. So how cute is that? You have a little window for your little decorator cloche. And the other ones would be cute. You could put the bunny or you could put the chick. I just didn't want to have to color it, and I have them, as I was doing the video, be, oh well, my lamb was cuter. But I'm pretty sure you could color them just as cute. You could use basically the same technique. The thing is because he has the bow, there's one more color you can add. The bunny, of course, would be colored the exact same way, and you could get the pink on the ears, but you're gonna lose, there's no purple bow. And the same with the chick. She's just gonna be yellow, and there's no other color. You can add the flowers into the cloche, but that's my design choice. How I picked the sheep over the other two things, the baby lamb, was because there was a bow, and that gave me one more color to work with. So I hope you enjoy that. If you're interested in my free online class for the rest of February, just head over to my website. And again, this free paper will be available starting March 3rd, and I will have new specials on my website starting March 1st, but I do still have February specials up now. So have a great day. Bye.